Hello, friends. I am continuing my message on be strong and of good courage. This is part 2. If you have not listened to part 1, I would encourage you to first go and listen to that message. It doesn't take a prophet to know that our nation is in a crisis. This is a crisis that is spiritually rooted. We are in a national crisis because we are in a family crisis, and that brings us down to a personal crisis. A nation consists of families made up of individuals. The scriptures tell us in Jeremiah chapter 8 verse 9, "The wise men are ashamed, they are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of the Lord, and what wisdom is in them." When the word of God is rejected, we reject the only true wisdom that is able to guide and direct us. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. And when a nation or a person has rejected the fear of the Lord, they have rejected the pathway to wisdom. There is another reason for a crisis. There's another reason for why, as a nation, and many families and individuals are in a crisis. Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 13 says, "For my people have committed two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water." When a nation, when those in authority, whether governors or mayors or leaders or heads of a family or any type of authority, begin to forsake the source of life, when a family or an individual decide to forsake the source of life and cast behind their back His laws and turn their back to the Lord, that nation, that family, that individual will eventually end up in death because they have rejected life. Yet God, in times of crisis, has always reserved a remnant, a people who He has prepared for such an hour. These are the called, the chosen ones, and those that have been proven faithful. God has chosen many. Many don't make it because you are chosen in the furnace of affliction. Isaiah 48 verse 10. And after we are chosen, we must remain faithful to God and His Word. Think of men and women who are called the heroes of faith. Think of people like Deborah, Esther, Joshua, David, the 7,000 prophets that were reserved in the time of Elijah. These knew their God. They knew His ways, and they were strong in the Lord and very courageous. The word crisis comes from the Greek word krisis, meaning a separation, judgment, sentence, and it comes from the word krino, meaning to judge. A crisis is a moment in time when we come to an intersection where we can only go one way or another. It is a crucial time of decision making that will affect our future, our eternity, our posterity, our seed, even many other people that we may never meet or know. We have to decide one way or another what to do and how to respond. If we don't have the proper foundation from where to stand upon, then there won't be the courage to make the right choice or decision. I distinctly have come to places like this in my life where I was very conscious, I was very aware that I had come to such a crisis in my own life. I have learned that the hardest path to take, the hardest decision to make, is always the right choice. It is the broad way, the wide way, the easy way that leads always to destruction. Matthew 7:14, Jesus said, "Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leads unto life, and few there be that find it. The word straight literally means narrow, from obstacles standing close about. Why is it that many don't find this narrow or straight gate? It is because they do not have the strength to make the right choice to go into the narrow gate, and thus they will choose the broad gate because it is easier. Jesus said these words in Luke 13:24, labor or strive to enter in through the narrow gate. For I say to you that many will seek to enter in and will not be able to, or will not have strength. That's what that word means. What is God saying to you? What is God saying in this hour? He's saying, be strong in the Lord and be anchored in Him. That will give you the courage to choose what is right. Even God Himself helps us and gives us direction. But it is we who have to do the choosing. It is up to us to make the choice. God will not choose for us. In Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19, God said, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death. You see, that is that why we have to make a choice. Blessing and cursing. There's the choice, the decision. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. God is giving us even the answer what to choose. And it takes courage to make decisions that will give life for our seed. Our inheritance, our nation's inheritance is in their seed, or its seed. Isaiah 54 verse 3 says, thy seed shall inherit. However, if we do not have the courage to choose what is right, to choose life, then we will have no one to inherit God's promises for us. That is why we are seeing the spiritual battle that is raging around us and manifesting in the natural realm. We are in a battle to inherit the promises given to us by God. Many are the seed of Christ, and many do not realize that they have an inheritance. And therefore, because they do not know they have an inheritance, they have no vision, they have no purpose. Therefore, they lack the strength and courage to fight the good warfare. What are you going to fight for if you don't know what you're fighting for? And they need to fight, and they don't have the strength to do this, and because they don't have the prophetic words behind them promising them victory. So go to His Word. Draw near to His light, and draw from His Spirit. And then, from that position, from that place, be very courageous. Be strong and very courageous to do what is right in God's sight. I will continue this message in another video, and it will be called Be Strong and Courageous, Part 3.